Good morning kids, how are you all? I hope you all are fine and doing great. I am Khushbu Patel from Saraswati Group of Education and today in this session we are going to start with our new lesson, chapter number 2, which is given on page number 12. What is the name of the chapter? Computer, memory and storage devices. Right, but as you know that before we start the explanation of any chapter, we are going to see the vocabulary words of this chapter. Right, yes? So, let us start. Chapter number 2, Computer Memory and Storage Devices. Now kids, in this chapter, we are going to learn about the two important things which is done in the computer. The first one is memory device. That means the way you can remember the things. Same way, computers can also remember the data that is stored in certain devices. So, memory devices and storage devices we have to learn. The way you are storing your stuff at home, like your toys, your clothes, your books, and many more things, right? Same way, computers are also storing certain data, right? We can say that they are storing certain information. So, how do they store it? Where do they store it? About all that things we have to study in this chapter. But as you know, before we start the explanation, we just have to go through the new words. So, let's start it. So, we are going to learn the vocabulary words of this chapter. Are you all ready? Let's start. The first word is data. Now see kids, before I start explaining all the vocabulary words of this chapter, let me tell you one fact that in this slide, in this presentation about the vocabulary words, you will not have any kind of a picture, right? But we are going to understand the meaning of it only, right? So, the first word is data. Now, what do you mean by it? See here. Raw facts and figures such as numbers, characters, or other symbols which do not convey any meaning. That means I want to make some software in computer, but I don't have data. That means I don't have any kind of idea. Then how can I make it? Let me give you a simple example. Suppose in your family you are total 10 members. Every member will watch TV, but every member will have a different choice of channels. Some may like cartoons, some may like serials, some may like music, some may like news channel. So that means what? If I will ask you a question that how many people at your home is watching the TV, so you will say that all, right? All members of my family are watching TV. So that is what? It is a raw data, because I have not specified that which member is watching which channel. So this data is not giving me proper information. I can say that 2 members are watching news channel, 2 members are only interested in music channel, right? Then I can say that this is the perfect information. But if I say that some people like music channel, but how many? I don't know. So that is what? It is considered as a raw data, right? Which do not give any kind of a meaning, right? So whatever the instruction we are giving to the computer, if it is not proper, then computer will not work, as that we have seen in the first chapter, right? So data means raw figures or fact which do not have any special meaning, right? So that is what? Data. I hope you have understood. Now, the second word, which is information. The way I will ask you a question, that just tell me how many planets are there in our solar system. So whatever the information you have, you will tell me that there are total 8 planets. We are living in third planet called Earth. So that means you have exact information, right? You cannot say that we are living in one planet, but I don't know what is the name of the planet or what is the number of that planet. So if you know only few things, that means it is a raw data. But if you have a perfect data, that is considered as information. Now see the meaning of it. Processed data which conveys proper meaning, right? The way I have given you the example of a solar system and the earth, that means the data which was raw, it was now processed and giving us proper meaning. So it is known as what? It is known as information. Let me give you one more example. Suppose you want to go to your friend's house. So your friend will just give you a data about the address, that when you reach here at the circle, just take a turn and my house will be there. So will you able to find the friend's house? No. But if you have a perfect data, right, then you can reach your friend's house easily. So the first was data which was raw. Now you have the perfect data. So that is what it is, information. Right? Understood? Next. What is our third word? It is binary language. Now see kids, binary means 2. TWO 2. Right? Now language, the meaning of it you know, right? The way we are speaking. But as you know that computer is a machine which cannot able to understand our language. They only understand machine language. But what type of a machine language? Right? Whatever we are typing, that will convert into the binary language. What is the binary language? See here. The language of zeros and ones understood by the computer. That means whatever we are typing, whatever we are pressing, that all things will get convert to the 0 and 1. So that 0 and 1 combining to make a machine language called binary language. But here just because it is having only 2 digits, so it is known as binary language, right? So it can be understood by the computer, right? Binary language means combination of 0 and 1, right? Next. What is the next word? Primary memory. Now, when you talk about the memory device, in a computer there are 2 types of memory. One is a primary memory and the second one is a secondary memory. So here we have to understand the meaning of primary memory. See it. A type of a memory whose contents are directly accessible to the CPU. That means the memory which we can take out or we can fetch out from the CPU directly, right? Whatever the information we want, we can take it out easily from the primary memory. About this memory, we will study more in the explanation, right? Next. Next word is RAM. It is RAM, not RAM, right? It means a volatile read-write memory used for storing data and programs that are directly accessible to the CPU. That means here there is a one new word in the meaning called volatile. About that we will study. Here RAM means random access memory. That means you are storing certain programs or certain data into the computer which is directly accessible to the CPU. That means we can open that data or program anytime from the CPU, right? So that is RAM. Moving further, next word is ROM. ROM. That means read only memory, right? The full form of ROM is read only memory. The meaning of it is a non-volatile memory that is used for storing BIOS program. Now see kids, in the previous word we have seen a one word called volatile memory, and here the word opposite to it, that is non-volatile memory. Now let me tell you the major difference. I told you that we will study. Major difference between volatile and non-volatile memory is that volatile memory you can make changes. Say for example, you have made a one file, you have made a one document, and that document you have saved in computer. But after 2-3 days you remember that you forgot to add one more point to that document. So you will open that file and you will make the changes, right? So that file is stored in a RAM, RAM, random access memory. And ROM means it will not allow to do any kind of the changes in the computer. That means it is non-volatile memory. It will just help you to BIOS program. What is that? We will see. Let's go to the next word. It is secondary memory, right? What is the meaning of it? See, a non-volatile memory that is used for bulk storage of programs, data and other instruction. That means we can just store our program, like we can install new software to our computer, right? We can install certain instruction or information, right? But we cannot do any changes. Why? Because it is non-volatile memory, right? So that type of a memory is considered as what? Secondary memory. Like you cannot make any kind of a changes in computer software which is already installed. The way you are playing games in your mobile, but you cannot do any changes in that, right? The way it has been played, it is unchangeable. You cannot change it, right? So in the computer also, in secondary memory, you cannot do any kind of a changes. Next one, it is volatile. Now see here, volatile, right? I told you volatile means you can make changes, but we have to understand it in a proper way. So the meaning of it is volatile memory is computer memory that requires power to maintain the stored information. That means as and when you will switch on the computer and you are working, till that time the program is there. But as and when you will switch off the computer, that program has gone. It is destroyed or it is removed automatically. So usko bolenge volatile. Or in short, you can remember volatile means we can make changes, right? Next one. It is non-volatile, which means opposite to the previous word. What does it mean? Non-volatile memory, which is also known as NVM, or non-volatile storage, is a type of computer memory that can retain stored information even after power is removed. That means you have installed certain game into your computer. You have played that game for half an hour and then you are switching off the computer. Will that game will be destroyed or removed after you switch off the computer? No. Same way, there are certain programs which will not be removed from your computer even if you shut down your computer. So that was non-volatile, right? Okay, clear? Next, it is CDR. Now kids, we all are aware with the word CD. But here one more is written, that is R. What do you mean by it? See, it is called recordable CD. Data once recorded on it cannot be removed. That means if you have heard that in a market some blank CDs are available. So that CD in which you can store your data. You can record your data by keeping that blank CD inside your computer. So what is that? That is CDR. But the condition is that once you have recorded that CD with certain information or data, you cannot erase it from that CD. Right? So that is CDR. Right? Next. It is CDRW. Now you have understood CDR. Now here one more letter is, that is W. What is the meaning of it? See, it is called rewritable CD. See, just understand the meaning of rewritable. That means once you have recorded a CD, but you want to record something more or something other thing in that CD, in the similar CD, so that you can remove the old data and you can store the new data in it. So that is called as CDRW, right? See, it is called rewritable CD. Data written on the CDRW can be erased and new data can be stored on it. Right? That means reusable CD. You can use that CD for many a times. Right? Next. New word is BIOS. It is not BIOS. It is actually the short form of Basic Input Output System. Right? Whatever the instruction we are giving to the computer, that is input. And according to the instruction, computer will give you the result. That is what? Output. Right? So in short, it is known as BIOS. Basic Input Output System. Right? Next. It is USB. Right? It's not USB, but it is USB. It is also a short form. What is the full form of it? Universal Serial Bus. It's not a bus which will drive us to some other city. but it is a kind of a bus which will drive the data from one computer to other computer. Now kids, whatever I have spoken in the last sentence, you may have not understood it. But let me give you example of USB. See here. Pen drive or flash drive. You all have seen it, right? USB means there is a port in computer which will allow us to take the data into a device called pen drive, so that we can store that data, or you can say you can store the copy of that data into a pen drive, and then you can transfer it to some other computer, right? So this is helpful in transferring the data. Now kids, as I have told you in the beginning also that you haven't have any kind of a picture in the slides, right? So I hope you have understood this vocabulary words, right? So this was our last word of this chapter, right? Okay. Okay. So as we have completed the vocabulary words of this chapter, right? I hope you have understood. You have understood the pronunciation as well as its meaning, right? We are going to meet in the next session. That means today I am ending my session over here. And in the next session, we are going to start with the explanation of this chapter. Okay? So till that time, please stay at home, stay safe. Bye-bye.